Are you a Facebook group admin or content creator using vMix, StreamYard, or even Ecamm for your live streaming? Well, brace yourself because Facebook dropped a bombshell of an announcement. They're axing all third-party apps into groups, including our favorite ones. Tune in as I share with you strategies to help you continue live streaming into Facebook groups using different softwares. Be right back.
And welcome to Content Creators Connect. Here we're all about encouraging the three C's: connecting with others via video, content development that builds your personal brand, and creators sharing their experiences despite their distance.
The C3 team member leading this evening is Manny, also known as Coach Manny. He is coaching us up in the world of social media marketing as well as pursuing his passion for streaming true crime.
My friends, I have to ask you, when it comes to Facebook, they announce these crazy changes. And, as Facebook is an ever evolving company, and they made these announcements, it's probably been about a month, I don't know exactly, but they made these announcements on their change about letting third party apps in. Dori, Kevin, what were your thoughts when you first heard about this? Kevin, we'll go to you first.
Honestly, I was kind of confused and not really sure what the whole announcement was about. So I was sort of waiting to hear what the whole hubbub was all about, and found out afterwards it really didn't affect the way that I went live into Facebook because I was already using some of those workarounds. But no, I'm curious to hear what Dory has to say about this. So head over to you.
So I too was confused. I've been a Facebook user for a really long time. I've been streaming both recorded and live videos to Facebook since the beginning. And I was confused as to the rationale. And of course, you always have to wonder what are the motives behind a company implementing a site wide policy like this. And I wondered if perhaps it was because they had been developing their own streaming tool. And in terms of groups themselves, because I also thought it was interesting that they targeted specifically just streaming into groups versus personal profiles and business pages. So when I think about a Facebook group, I think of it as a more intimate place for people to meet up and chat. If you join a group, it's because you have a like-minded approach, or you have an interest or something that brings that group of people together. And so for me, to be in a Facebook group and lose the ability to live chat with people, I'm not going to lie, it's a bummer. I really think that that's vital to like keeping that group dynamic and that cohesiveness together. Now, I know, like Kevin, there are workarounds, but I have to say that it's disappointing to me. I'm not going to lie. So, if you guys are interested to hear about this new development and hear maybe some of the workarounds and other content that we share on this channel, we would love it if you would consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you do get notified whenever we go live. And now, without further ado,
Thank you so much. And honestly, your responses were very encouraging that I did pick this topic. Not going to deny that part. And I, like both of you, at first I was confused until I realized, oh, I've been doing that for a long time, except it is a little bit different. There are more steps involved. Whereas right now, I set it up through Restream. As long as I'm admin, I'm easily going to be diving into that. So now that we hear that April 22nd, Facebook is going to be making this change on us. And so when we hear that, it's like, what does that actually mean? Well, if you use particular softwares like vMix for your streaming, which a lot of people do. If you're doing sports, like I know as you guys know, I'm also a racquetball coach, and I know one of the organizations, they use vMix, right? Kevin uses vMix. I use vMix for one of my clients. Very popular software. Maybe you use StreamYard. Maybe you're not as deep as vMix or as Ecamm, but you're using StreamYard for your streaming. Well, guess what? That's a third party app. And so if you're on StreamYard, Ecamm, vMix, this does affect you if you're going into Facebook groups. If you're going onto Facebook pages, doesn't really matter. That doesn't affect you in this particular case. Now, I love Dori making that comment about, does that mean that Facebook's coming out with something of their own? That's a very good question. But this live producer that they've already created was probably like, hey, we created this live producer for a reason. We want you to use this live producer, right? And so, with that being said, yes, there were many times that maybe I'm going to a client's Facebook page or group and I needed access, but wasn't an admin or something, right? I would have to get a particular key. And so as we're diving into this, I'm going to show you what you would do to get into that. Now, whether you're using one of these softwares, hopefully this sounds a little familiar. Otherwise, you can Google a lot of stuff just to find out, and I'll show you what I did. But first, I want to share with you hopefully it's up here. Where did it see? You guys see that? There we go. If you can see my screen here, this is when Facebook changed things a little bit. And on there, you can see it says update, third-party apps and Facebook groups will no longer be available starting April 22nd. That is a week and a day from today. So the following Monday from tomorrow. When you're going through this, you can still follow a process that they've already been doing for a while. Now, I'm going to stop that one so that I can share with you another one, basically how you can do this, okay? Now, depending on what software that you're using, if you're using vMix, as I shared with you, you've probably seen this before, okay? This little box here, the RTMP, okay? When the RTMPS, that's a key. When I say key, I mean all these long digits, right? And you're going to put that in there. You're going to have a URL that you can already copy from Facebook. I'll show you how to do that. And there's going to be a stream key with it. You can easily click a button to copy that and then paste it into that. So whether you're using vMix, this is how vMix looks. And then boom, once you put it in, you click start and it starts. Okay. Now, with that also being said, you have to, when someone else's software starts it. So for example, if I have a client and I click on start, in some softwares like vMix, if I recall, they have to press go live on their end as the Facebook user. So if you're someone like me who has virtual clients, you might have to say, okay, when I click it, you're going to see the blue. Look for the blue. And the blue will light up. You know what the blue is. If you've gone live, it when it's ready, and I'll show it to you, it's ready to be pressed. So if I'm not doing this and my client's doing it, on my end, I have to get it prepared. I have to start. On their end, they have to really go live. They have to press the button to then start. So they're in control when they're ready to start talking, that they're the ones that actually starting the whole process, right? So you want to recognize RTMPS. That is a big thing. And the S is kind of the code you're getting, but on your end, when you're looking at the software, just like it says right here, custom RTMP, the S server. So That's what you're really going to be looking for. So let's go ahead and dive over to Facebook and see what that looks like. Stop sharing there, start sharing here. Let's see where we're at. Excellent. Now remember, we're talking about being in a Facebook group, right? So the first thing you're going to do, if you do not see a button here, let's make sure that, all right, you see I'm ready to go live. I don't see the go live here as an option. None of these right here are showing me an option, right? The three little buttons. Now you see live video, all right? In the live video, now which one are you going to do? As you can see, I am live on my pages right now as we're going live through Content Creators Connect, right? And so we didn't take this process because we don't have to start following this process yet, but April 22nd, we might have to change a little to go into social media and networking business group, just like this right now that we're demonstrating. All right, so this is me wanting to go live inside of this Facebook group. As you can see, I'm posting in the group. You get different options. Do you want to post on your timeline? Do you want to post to a page you manage? Or do you want to post in a group? I'm going to post in a group. Then I have to pick the group. And obviously, I was just in there. But again, I'm still Manny Rodriguez right now, right? These are all the groups that I'm a part of. And I'm gonna stick right obviously right here. Social media networking. Okay, I want to go live, or do I want to create a live video event? You know, do I want to go live by myself right now and ready to go, or do I want to create an event ahead of time, and schedule it out and start promoting it? Right? Say we're ready to go live. We're gonna click on go live. So now it's opening up. This is basically Live Producer. All right. So as we're filling it out, this is an important step. Okay. Now you can see it says select a video source. Webcam, if I was having the camera right here, if I was just using my camera and I'm not using a software. In this case, we're talking about using third-party apps to continue to use into groups. Okay, so you have webcam, you have streaming software. All right, obviously we're using a software. Right now I'm on Ecamm. Tomorrow morning for one of my clients, I'll be on vMix. When it's time that we need to start going into groups, we'll have to get this code. So follow along. All right, so we've clicked on the software. You can add your details and stuff. Notice this stream key right here. That's the stream key I was describing earlier. And look, you don't have to remember it, right? This is the Facebook stream key. It's going to start with an FB. Okay, I'm just going to copy it. Now notice the advanced settings if I want to go a little deeper. Okay, now I'm going to be honest with you right now. I'm putting my Facebook group at risk. Okay, I don't have this automatically live blocker, right? So right now I am putting this group at risk. Why? Because on live video, I have just now shared the stream key. So someone can easily steal this stream key and paste it and go crazy. I hope they don't, but I'm not going to worry about it at this moment. So with the advanced settings, what you will want to do, if this is something that you do regular, you see this persistent stream key, which is going to be one stream key that you can use regularly. Okay, so as it says here, this can be reused every time you go live. You can only broadcast one live video at a time with this permanent stream key. Every time you go in, it will be a new stream key if you don't do this. And that's fine too. You don't have to do the permanent one if you prefer to have a different one every single time. But if you want to make it simple, because once you click on this, it's already going to be in the software, right? When you save it, it's going to pop up, be ready to go every time. So look how easy. It's not like I have to come here every single time. What I do have to have ready for is that this where it says go live down here, when I started on my end in the software, I have to come over here to press go live. All right. So that's a key thing with this. Now, as you're doing it, One of the biggest changes that Meta has incorporated with doing this is having pop-up comments. If you follow our C3 team every week, you see the comments that pop up. That right there will definitely change. So comments could come in if you're in the group, they can see within the group, but it's not going to be where it can easily be flashed up. Will that change? Something will probably change so that Facebook can continue to make the engagement. Because what is that? That's engagement. What is Facebook well known for? They want engagement. The more engagement your page get, the more they'll pay you. The more engagement your posts get, the more they'll show it to other people. That's one of the biggest things about Facebook is their engagement. If you post something, they're going to show that post to a small percentage of your friends, maybe 2% or something like that. If there's engagement, if they're showing like, I actually like this stuff, then boom, and they're liking it, they're clicking on like or commenting, that's engagement, or sharing, that's engagement. What's Facebook going to do? They're going to reward you for that great content, and they're going to show it to more people. They're going to continue to show it the more engagement. YouTube, they're all about watch time. How long are people staying on that video that you created? Big differences there. So my guess is because of showing comments on the screen is an important factor to Facebook when it comes to engagement, that I believe they're going to do something. Right now, if I use a software, when I do the software, sometimes it comes up and I can show a comment, but I don't know who's leaving it. It just says like Facebook user or something like that. But if it's on YouTube, it'll show. So I have seen some differences on some of my different channels that I run. And as we move forward, I'm a true believer in that Facebook still wants their platform to dominate. No matter what changes that they're implementing, it's a competitive world out there for Facebook, right? They want all your attention. YouTube wants all your attention. TikTok wants all your attention. So they're all competing for your attention. Facebook wants you to even search for your want, your needs, the things that you're shopping for within their platform. They want to keep you on their platform. They want that engaging content keeps you on their platform. That is why sharing links in your description is not always a great idea, because what happens when someone clicks that link, it leaves Facebook, right? Then you're going to another page. Facebook's not a fan of that. But at the end of the day, if it gets a lot of engagement naturally, organically on its own, Facebook's going to say, well, it's getting engagement, we want people to stay, right? So you have to play these things in a sense that, are you attracting their attention? So when it comes to these Facebook lives, right? Truth is, why wouldn't you be going live? But if you're using a software like StreamYard or vMix or Ecamm, like we here at C3 do, every week Dori runs the show. She uses Ecamm. You've seen when Kevin has ran the show, he uses vMix. If you notice, we're bringing the same content, right? So these are powerful softwares, but one of the most important things that we've always done is go live into groups. We're live in the groups right now. Some of you are watching this in a Facebook group, right? And so that's going to change a little bit. You might not see your comment pop up. We don't know what that looks like just yet, because I haven't personally started using Live Producer yet into the groups again, should I say. And so it's just a matter of time before we find out what's next. But here's what I truly believe. All right. Facebook, whether it's live or uploading video, TikTok or Instagram Reels, Facebook Stories, video production, creating video content, it's only getting stronger, and it's only becoming more of we want to consume that type of content. So as you're learning these, maybe you haven't started diving into a vMix or an OBS or an Ecamm. Ecamm, the difference there is you only can use it on a Mac. They have no intentions whatsoever of catering to PC. And as they've said themselves, vMix is a great source, right? And so they're not looking to step out of their lane. They're just serving Mac users. If you're a vMix, they're serving PC users, right? Only. If you're on OBS, you can use it on both platforms. All right. OBS is a free way to start diving into this type of stuff. If you like techie stuff, if you like to be creative, if you're willing to go through the learning curve, StreamYard is something a little more simpler if you do want to start creating this type of content with a green screen, with different things popping up, with having guests on as interview, right? So these are key things. But if you notice, even with Facebook, you can bring a guest on, right? So if you notice, they're trying to keep you on their platform. And so now when you look at this, you will easily know. Now, as you're looking through this, as you're going through, you can see a dashboard. You can see the settings. I believe, let's see. Yeah, you guys are still on there. Okay, great. And so you can see the different things that you're going to be looking at when it comes to this, right? And so when you're looking at your stream setup, which is the most important part of it, if you don't use a streaming software like any of the ones that I've described, then you are going to be a webcam user. That is going to be, as you can see right away, it asked me to allow it to use my mic and my camera because I don't ever use that. I'm going to say not now because I have no interest in that. And so it's all about that. But if you look at through the webcam, it's going to be what media source is connected to your devices, to your, the whole 9 yards here. And then you'll be able to start your screen share with what it identifies. But we're focused on this because this is a key part of the whole thing. Now, I wanted to make sure I hit on this. If you see right here, server URL, that is the RTMPS URL. As you can see, live API Facebook. It's Facebook. This is what you need. And look, I don't have to remember or write it down. It's a quick copy. And I'm going to go back to a screen that I shared a little earlier. Okay, that's pretty cool. I see what you did there. Good job. Thank you. That's funny. So with that, I'm going to go back to the vMix that I showed you earlier, just to kind of guide you on that. If you remember, we talked about the custom RTMPS. Now, you see, this is an example. If you use a third-party software, it's going to have different destinations. This is a destination to Facebook. It's going to have an RTMP code for YouTube. It's going to have an RTMP code for all of those that you can go live in. This is part of the server that it's connecting to that is on that platform. And so when you hit that drop down menu, look for yours. Look for your StreamYard or whatever it is. In this particular case, it's going to have YouTube and it's going to have TikTok and it's going to have all those different ones. And with it, as you can see, there goes the stream key. I'm going to go back to my screen so you can see the stream key part, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, there. Where we go. One of these was that. Nope. Yep. Yep. Okay, so there goes the stream key. You see it says FB. That is Facebook. And so when you're seeing that, now you know the server URL, now you know the stream key. Once you click go live over there, this blue is going to highlight and light up to go live. Once you are ready to go live, you can then go live and still use your software. Now, what's the difference with using a software? Right? Well, truth is, with a software, you get to use cooler things like show graphics, do interviews, add names, make it look like a show. What we do here at C3. if we were to just go in there, we can't do all these cool things within Live Producer. We can't have a ticker going down. We can't stream live sports on there easily and make it look like a show that you're watching. Yeah, you can go live and just show your camera, absolutely, but it's not the same if you're trying to create a show. What do we see here at C3 try to encourage you to do? Step out of your comfort zone, find who you are, and dive into this video stuff. That's one thing that we do every single week. We try to help you and your video content and your content creation and help you up your game, right? This is part of it. So if you haven't even dove into these type of things, let's have a conversation. I'm happy to jump on a Zoom and give you ideas, right? Leave a comment below. We'll be happy to reach out to you. Any one of us. We all have our own areas that we love to focus on. So we're happy to help you here. Dori, Kevin, myself, we are here for you, my friends, to help you beef up your content creation and help you get better and better. And as you know, for us, we're always learning too. This is an ever evolving social media game, video marketing game. Look at what goes on at TikTok. Before you knew it, it used to be Musically, and no one was barely ever hearing about that thing. But then something happened, and all of a sudden, TikTok is trending all of a sudden, right? And now TikTok sets it up, and what's happened? What I'm getting at is these video stuff works. And if you're not bringing video magic into your realm of your content creation, we really do need to have a talk, because you don't even need to, if it's a self-image thing, you don't even need to show your face. I did a short this week. This is my first short where I used AI generated voice that sounds just like human. And I'll be completely honest with you, I explored it because someone did not like the way I narrated a short. I'm not taking it personal. I just know that people are watching. I can be better. I'm not a storyteller, right? So there's no shame in my game in telling you, like, I use this AI video, this AI audio, and I actually really liked it, and I'm going to do it again. So here's the truth. My face wasn't in it. It was a story that all I had to do was copy and paste my story into it. And well, I don't know what name it was, Michael or whatever, sounded great. And I liked how clear it came across. Did it sound like something did the heavy lifting for me? And as busy as I am, and now I'm busier because of a huge project I took on, I'm definitely going to be diving into this a lot more. My friends, my point is, find out what's holding you back from this video. I'll just call it stuff, whether it's the short form, long form, whatever form, and ask yourself, what's holding me back? And anyone here at C3 will be glad, if not all three of us, we can table this stuff, right? Because we want to help you grow on your journey. So, my friends, I should have stopped that screen share a long time ago so I could have all your attention, but that's okay. We keep learning, and you probably already did that. Good job.
I did it
Okay.
for you.
I didn't have that screen up, so I thought my screen share was still up. So I'm gonna come back to my tribe, and I'm wondering what they're thinking about this, because at the end of the day, I knew that they were very familiar, because as you know, I've learned a lot with these guys, and so I'm really curious at the end of the day, like, hey, what did you find in this video that I just created that shared, like, hey, what next? What do you think is next? What do you think about this? Is it simple? Is it hard? Can anyone do this? Kevin, we're going to start with you.
Well, thank you, Manny, for that wonderful insight into the changes that Facebook is about to implement. And yeah, I'm very curious next week when they actually implement and sort of, I guess, sort of police it, of how it actually is going to work and whether it is actually going to affect us the way we have things set up already, or have we already combated a lot of that and through the way we are producing our shows. So honestly, I don't think it's that intuitive to be able to go in and sets everything up. So I love being able to attach it to a software that you're familiar with. And for myself, being a vMix user, I'm very familiar with the RTMP, being able to set up that server because you have the option of setting multiple RTMP servers within vMix and then going to different locations. So I'm glad I found that out earlier on, and actually I do use that to go live to some of those Facebook groups already. So I'm familiar with it. But what I did learn from you today, that they're going to make it able to make it a persistent key, so you don't have to go in every single show to be able to copy and paste that stream key. So I like that as an option. That's something that you can then save into your software, so you don't have to go in and change every single week that you go live. So definitely a time saver there. And especially with us being sort of in the tech and streaming community, I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of questions come April, was it 22nd, from our friends and our colleagues in the space saying, what's going on? How come I can't stream to my Facebook page? So I have a feeling we'll get a few more questions from our colleagues, finding out they actually didn't dive deep into those Facebook changes as much as they had to. And they thought, oh, we're just going to continue as is right now. But as you're going through your presentation, I was diving into the live producer as well. And yeah, there are a lot of great features there. If you're wanting to go live to just that specific group, that is an awesome resource to be able to chat with your community, set up a time to say hi to everyone, as opposed to going live across multiple channels and multiple groups as well. So they're doing really great with that live producer, and I can see it only growing from this point forward. So I'm excited to see what changes that they have going on in the future. But yeah, Dory, what is your thoughts of the changes and what Manny presented today?
Well, first of all, Manny, I think you did a great job of showing like all aspects, both from the Facebook end of things, as far as, where the buttons are, and then also explaining like, hey, if you're StreamYard, hey, if you're VMix, hey, if you're Ecamm, like this is what the deal is. But I have to say, as someone who is like the person in people's like Rolodex. People don't even use Rolodex anymore. I know I'm showing my age, but like, like I'm the one that's like, hey, I don't know how to do this with the tech. Like, help me out. And I'm like everybody's personal tech support. I'm really worried about customers that we serve as clients. Like, for example, like you mentioned you virtually manage a lot of shows for people, and they rely on you to have all the answers as far as the technology end of it goes, and they want to worry about the content end. And so for me, I worry about those people that hire virtual, production teams because they have no idea where to even start. And I know a lot of people is like, oh, but it's simple. Just send them a screenshot and show them where the button is. And listen, that's all well and good, but until you get with someone who's very nervous about using technology, even just showing them a screenshot and saying like all you have to do is push this button, I really worry that it's going to create a lot of anxiety for content creators who just want to build the content and don't want to worry about the tech. But on the flip side of that, because I'm always positive Polly, um, I think the good news is that, like, I think those of us in the content space, whether it be the techies like us or the people whose content you manage, like some of your clients, I think everybody realizes that technology is always changing, and that if we want to continue to produce content, we have to adapt to that. And so I think this is just another bend in the road. And I think it's our job as content creators that marry both of those things. Yes, we create the content. Yes, we dive into the tech aspect of it. We have to learn the new method and then teach it to our clients, teach it to our peers. And so, as Kevin said, I worry that it's going to be a little non-intuitive for those that aren't familiar with it. But I do think that if we're flexible and we're able to adapt like we tend to be in this space, I think people will figure it out. Now, I do want to address a couple things, but I want to bounce over here first because I think this is somebody, Manny, in your group. Perhaps you recognize this name. Okay.
Yes, he's a vMix user.
Yes. So this is a really important point that JT makes. This change is specifically only impacting live streaming into Facebook groups. It does not impact your streaming to your personal profile, and it does not impact your streaming to your business page. And so I've said this again, like in the past, I'm going to say it again. It's really important that you have your vocabulary important, like you understand it when it comes to Facebook. You've got a personal profile, you've got a business page, and you've got groups. So you have to know like which nomenclature that you're in to understand like where you're being limited.
So true.
And then the other thing that I wanted to address, I was just double checking this part. I just want to reinforce, Manny, something you said early on. You know, if you're streaming for virtual clients, you can do all the legwork on your end, set up the RTMP, set everything up. But when it's ready to go, your client has to be ready to reach up and like push the button or click the button on the computer to actually make the stream live. I do want to point out, I mentioned that I have been a dinosaur when it comes to streaming on Facebook. Streaming on Facebook was my sole streaming gig until we started this channel and I started exploring YouTube. I actually did use Live Producer in the early days to stream to Facebook when I was just doing single source. And some of the things that we can do with our software like Ecamm or vMix, like overlays and things like that, you actually can do those in Live Producer. The key is, though, is that it's browser-based. And so you have to have a browser running it, and your stream is going through that browser connection as well. So there's a chance for a little bit more of a hiccup with that. But again, the capability is there, and I think they keep adding more things. You can do polls, you can ask questions, you can pop things up on the screen. So it is there. I haven't used it in eons, but I know that when they first rolled it out, when some of the things were in beta, you could do those things in Live Producer. So maybe they're going to just beef it up a little bit more.
Yeah. Have you used it yourself? I do kind of, now that you say that, I do remember I've never personally used it with a graphic at all. I tried to learn OBS as soon as I started really diving into it. Have you ever had have you used it at all?
I did, yeah. When it first rolled out and they were doing a lot of like beta testing with things, one of my mentors was like really big into Facebook streaming and a lot of behind the scenes things. And so he taught us how to use Live Producer and showed us a lot of the bells and whistles. And then we were able to try those out as well. But like I said, since I started using Ecamm and streaming to multiple sources, I haven't touched Live Producer in, I would say, a couple years. So what is in there now, I guess I'm going to have to spend the next week checking it out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And the only other thing I wanted to just quickly mention was you mentioned about comments. One of the things, like when Kevin uses vMix, when you use vMix, when I use Ecamm, one of the cool things is that when we stream into multiple spots, like right now, I think I'm streaming to 5 destinations. I think each of you are streaming to at least 3 to 5 extra destinations. That comment is on your Facebook page or group, Manny, the one from JT. I can see it in my Ecamm. That's one of the benefits of using a third-party software is it will go and collect comments from every source. YouTube, Facebook, it doesn't matter. The streaming through Live Producer, you will be able to put comments on the screen, but it will only be the comments that come up inside that Facebook group. And you'll have to be managing it through a browser window, and you'll have to click a button for it to show up on the screen and things like that. So there are a few extra steps, a few extra hurdles you got to jump for that. But
But you can still,
overall,
but you can still share all the comments that come in, basically.
right. So if you think about a use case, like if you're doing, say, like a Q&A just for your group and you're only streaming into that source, if somebody types a question and as a comment, you can pull that up on screen just like we do here and address it
Gotcha.
and discuss it. But again, I just wonder how that's going to work with like solopreneurs, where you're having to like look at your audience, look at a browser window over here, click a bunch of things, come back over here to the camera. I worry that it's going to create a disconnect. That's all.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I'm
Sorry,
very
I'm very
curious.
passionate about this topic.
And I'm very curious with Live Producer too, is if you're going, that's fine for only one group. But if you are broadcasting to several groups or several locations, when you bring up that comment will not show up like onto a YouTube or to a page. It's only that Facebook group that it originated from. So it's important that if a comment does come up, state the comment on stream so that you can share it with the other channels as well.
Yeah. So it is going to create a couple bends in the road. But we'll see what Facebook has up their sleeve, because they always have something going on. So unless you guys have anything else to add, I think we're going to bounce to Manny to wrap it up.
Sounds good. My friends, I hope you got some value out of that. And thank you so much for joining us tonight as you learn about Facebook and its continuous changes and now with third-party apps. I want to take you back almost 7 months. I kind of briefly talked about some of the short form video that you can be doing and the faceless videos that you can be doing. I want to take you back to a video that Kevin did almost about 7 months ago in September of 2023. The rise of micro content and creating short form videos. He did an excellent presentation on how you can incorporate this short form stuff and why, because it is becoming a big deal. So if you look below that, the link to that video will be dropped. And so be sure to check that out, because when you wrap what you just got today and then you wrap what you got with that, and if you even look at a lot of our other content, it all correlates. So make sure you check that stuff out.
And if you enjoy this kind of content or finding it useful, we would love, 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 love for you to share the content, and also like and subscribe, because sharing our content is a great way to spread the love. Also, visit our website on all the information on how you can get in contact with us. As you can see over on the side, it is linktr.ee/content creators connect. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and X. So also drop down in the comments any kind of material or content that you would like us to do a deeper dive on in the future.
And thank you for joining Content Creators Connect, aka C3, tonight as Manny discussed how to adjust to Facebook's new group streaming policy. We will return next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, where I will be diving into the world of project management software solutions, an important addition to any content creator's toolbox. We will be multicasting live to YouTube, Facebook, and X, so be sure to join us. Until then, we urge you to identify and lean into your 3Cs. Start today creating unique content that builds connections and breaks down those barriers. See you next week.
Bye-bye. Thanks for joining.
Bye.